Hey, Phil, are you there? I hate to tell you this, but I might not be able to make it home tonight.
Excuse me, you going to be late again? Or are you saying you're not coming home at all? You're staying overnight somewhere?
Yeah, well, it's not decided yet, but the possibility of not coming home at all is pretty certain.
Really? Didn't your company put out some policy for this winter? It's supposed to get bad today, so unless you're on the night shift, all employees are supposed to leave early because there might be transportation delays or something. Wasn't that what they announced last week?
Yeah, that's what they said, all right, and I was all ready to leave when we got a call from one of our major clients. Apparently they encountered some serious system trouble on their main operating system. The weather is getting bad, but I can't just leave this and go home. We're talking about a major client. We really have to handle it tonight.
Yeah, I suppose it comes with the job, huh? Being a system engineer can get pretty hectic. They're always turning to you when there's even a tiny glitch. Anyway, this isn't the first time. Remember the one last year?
How can I forget that? That was during the big hurricane, wasn't it? That was pretty bad. But this time at least I don't have to go on site. I can do this all remote, but the only problem is I have no idea when this can be solved. We tried several solutions, but it rejected them all. Really not sure what the problem is. Worst case scenario, it may take all night. If, by chance, we find a solution, I can get home, but if not, I may have to stay all night. I'm really sorry about this, Phil. I hope you understand.
No problem. Just don't overdo it or anything. Rest when you can.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. I hate to ask, but could you dump a cup of detergent in the washing machine and switch it on? It's ready to go.
Huh? You want me to do the laundry? You know the dryer's on the blink. Can't hang it out to dry in this weather. Why bother?
Yeah, but just having it washed and ready to dry will save me a lot of time later. I've got to do it any chance I get, or it will just pile up before you know it.
Right. Okay, no problem.
Oh, and could you throw in the kitchen towels and the apron in there too? I forgot to throw those in this morning.
Do we even have an apron? I can't remember using it.
Yeah, I bought it because I'm always on the run, as you know. Didn't want to dirty up my suit in the morning. It saved me the other morning, actually. Splashed egg all over it. I left it on the kitchen table. Forgot to drop it in the washing machine this morning. It's bright blue. I can't miss it.
Oh, okay. I'll check and see later on.
You're doing remote work all day today, right? No change in schedule? You don't have to meet a client later or anything, right?
Yep, that's right. As a matter of fact, I was in the middle of something just now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought you were on your lunch break. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
Don't worry about it. After I finish this up, I'm done for the day, so no problem.
Oh, okay, great. So you got the evening free then? All right then. I better be getting back to work. Gotta figure this thing out. If I'm lucky, I can get this done tonight. Wish me luck.
All right, good luck.
Hey, Phil, are you there? Please reply if you're seeing this. I thought you were home. You said you weren't going anywhere. It's a snowstorm out here. Where the hell did you run off to, for God's sake? Did you look outside? Have you taken a look in front of the house? Can't you see the snow piled up on the front walkway? Apparently snow slid off the roof. I got a call from Mrs. Barkley next door. You know the old lady next door, right? Well, she told me that there was a woman buried in the pile of snow. I must have approached the house and the snowpack slid off the roof or something. It was apparently a pretty large pack of snow. Luckily, Mrs. Barkley called the ambulance right away because nobody was home at our place. It took a while for the ambulance to get there, but she said she seemed okay as far as she could tell. As for me, I'm still at the office. We solved that system error problem, but all transportation has been delayed. I have no way to get home because of this snow. I have no idea where you are, so I'm just relaying all this information. Just so you're aware, I can't believe you're not home, Phil. Where'd you go, for crying out loud? Contact me as soon as you see this message. I just hope you're not in trouble or anything. To be honest, I'm worried sick. Phil, are you there? Where the hell are you? I can't seem to get a reply from you. Are you even seeing this? I'm not even sure if you got back home or not. I don't see an icon on screen indicating you're seeing this. Do you even have the thing turned on? Or is your battery just dead and you can't charge it? What's going on, Phil? You're scaring me. I need a reply ASAP. We need to talk about what to do about that woman who was injured in front of our house. She's at the hospital over in Richmond. We can't just ignore her. She was injured on our property. We could get sued, so contact me right away after you see this. You do realize that you're in a real precarious situation here. I hope you're aware of that, Phil.
What the hell is this, Melanie? What's with this message? Sending me crap like this? Is this some kind of gag you're pulling? What's up with this? Making up some far-fetched mumbo-jumbo about you being taken away by an ambulance? What's with this play act and exaggeration? This is not even funny at all, Melanie. And even involving Mrs. Barkley? She's just a little old lady, for God's sake. How could you get her involved in your little prank? It's like you're showcasing your frustration to everybody in this neighborhood. Aren't you in the least bit embarrassed by this dumb little charade? And where were you taken? You said Richmond. Are you talking about the big one on 5th Street? I don't really care, to be honest. I don't plan on visiting you there anyways. I mean, seriously, why would I after what you pulled?
Huh? Pardon me? What are you saying? I'm still at the company. I really can't get out of this right now. I'm not sure I can get home right now.
Hold on a second. Pardon me?
And what the hell are you blabbering about? Phil, I'm really busy right now. I thought I explained it all to you.
But you just messaged me about you getting buried in front of our house and that you were taken to the hospital. What was that all about then?
Phil, are you even reading that message properly? Did you just glance at it? Sure sounds like it.
Huh? Wait a second. You're telling me I read it all wrong? I'm pretty sure...
Just read it over one more time, would you please? And this time, slowly, so that you understand the entire situation.
What is this, Melanie? Some woman was hauled off to the hospital from our house? Are you serious? It says she got buried in snow in front of our house. Are you kidding me? What the hell happened?
Come on, Phil. You did that, didn't you?
Huh? Excuse me?
What was that crap you said to me? You read that message from me all wrong. You thought it was me that got buried in snow, and you didn't give a hoot about me. You weren't even going to visit me at the hospital. Are you serious, Phil? Your outburst is all on record, so there's no use refuting any of it. You meant what you said. There is no denying the fact.
Yeah, well, I just misinterpreted the message is all. I didn't mean it. I was upset. What can I say?
Oh, really? Sure seemed like you meant it. Like I said, the line messages are left on record. There is no disavowing it now. I could even print it out if I wanted to. You want me to do that? Oh, yeah, and I just got a call from the hospital. They were finally able to identify that woman that was taken there.
What?
They said her name was Deborah Sinclair. Ring any bells? I wonder why she was at our home. Delivering something, perhaps? Or maybe visiting someone?
Hold on a second. Did you just say Deborah Sinclair? I mean, just want to confirm, you know.
That's right. Sure sounds like it rings a bell with you, Phil. On the other hand, I have no recollection of such a person. Who is this Deborah Sinclair? You know her, right? Who is she, Phil?
I'm not sure. I thought it was you.
Yeah, and? You thought it was me, so what?
Forget what I said. It's nothing.
It's kind of late to be saying any of that anyways.
Pardon me?
Phil, do you know how much time has passed since this Deborah was taken to the hospital? It was a pretty frantic situation that unfolded over there. All the neighbors were out, the ambulance blaring down the street. A couple of cop cars even showed up. In such a situation, don't you think they did a little background check regarding the whole thing? The cops aren't stupid, you know.
What are you trying to say? Come right out and say it, Melanie. You got my undivided attention. Give it a go, then.
All right, if that's the way you want it, Phil. I know all about your little affair, Phil. That Deborah, she's your hot little babe, am I right?
Wait, what? How do you...
And you were seeing two separate girls. Really, Phil? I didn't realize you were such a low-life scumbag.
Oh, wait a second. Why do you even know all this?
Okay, you seem completely bewildered, so let me explain the whole thing to you, Phil. Once you found out I wasn't able to come home last night because of the system troubles we had at the client's place and the fact that the traffic was all disrupted due to the snow, you immediately contacted both Deborah and this other girl you're seeing. But apparently Deborah wasn't able to make it, so you decided to spend the day with your other lover. How am I doing so far, Phil? Did I miss anything? What I think you probably did was you decided to go and pick this girl up somewhere because of the snow. That left the house temporarily empty. But because you're so absent-minded and don't really think things through, or maybe it was you because you were so excited to see your lover. I don't know. Well, in your haste, you left the door unlocked.
Huh? I'm pretty sure
Then unexpectedly, Deborah decided to show up at the house. Was she there to surprise you? Or maybe she thought it over and decided she wanted to see her lover boy? Not sure. I guess when she arrived to find the front door open, she figured you were working inside and went in without calling out to you or bothering to knock. After all, you did tell her I wasn't coming home that night because of the snow. She went straight to the kitchen and put on my blue apron, the one I asked you to throw in the washing machine. Then she started cooking dinner for you, as if she were your wife.
Wait, let me explain, Melanie.
Then you came waltzing in with your other lover like nothing happened. You took one look in the kitchen and saw a woman standing there with a bright blue apron. You immediately thought it was me and thought your little love affair was exposed. In your panic-stricken way, you grabbed the woman, who you thought was me, from the kitchen and pushed her out the back kitchen door and onto the snow. You didn't even bother to check if the woman was me.
Are you telling me that woman I tossed out was Debbie?
Yep, that was Deborah. But you seem to prefer Debbie. You guys figured you couldn't very well have your fun and games with the wife at home, so you guys immediately left the house and locked the door on your way out. I have no idea where you guys went, but you were definitely with this other woman of yours, right?
Well, we were... Hey, what happened to Debbie?
I heard that when you tossed her out the door, she fell off the porch and broke her ankle. Apparently you told her, thinking it was me, of course, to stay in the snow to cool off or something to that effect. Debbie managed to make her way to the front door, but it was locked. When she tried to leave the house, she fell off the front porch and couldn't get up due to the severe pain in her ankle. It was really starting to snow about that time, and she gradually got covered in snow, and to make things worse, the snow piled on the roof slid off and buried her even further. She tried calling out, but snow really insulates sound. Did you know that? As you probably know, when it snows like that, there are hardly any people walking around in that kind of weather. It was just by chance that Mrs. Barkley was able to find her. It seems her dog ran off and she was out looking for him and found him snuffing around in the pile of snow in our front yard. I don't want to think about what would have happened to her if she hadn't found her. Immediately, she called the ambulance and was taken away to the hospital. A neighbor also called the police because nobody recognized the girl as anybody from the neighborhood.
Oh, and how is she? I mean, is Debbie okay?
I was told it wasn't anything serious, just a broken ankle. She's recovering just fine, apparently.
Which hospital is she at? Where'd they take her?
Why do you want to know? Are you intending to go visit her? Visit your lover?
Huh? Well, I was just...
To be honest, I'm not at all concerned about your lover. I don't even know her. But to give out information about where she is hospitalized to the very person responsible for putting her in the hospital to begin with, that makes zero sense. So I'm sorry, Phil, I have no intention of telling you anything. Rather than worrying about your sweetheart, maybe you should start worrying about yourself.
Me? Why should I worry?
As I mentioned earlier, a neighbor contacted the police, and the whole thing kind of got a little more complicated.
What do you mean? How complicated?
Did you really think the police would just let this go? Don't you think they would have investigated this? A woman was injured, you know?
But the police... Why involve the police?
They cleared me of any wrongdoing, but I don't know what the situation is right now. I think they're still continuing the investigation.
Wait a second, what are you saying? That I may be in trouble? What's going to happen to me? What do they want from me?
Don't ask me.
How could you say that, Melanie? I'm your husband. How could you be so cold and unconcerned? This could be serious, you know? You're being way too unsympathetic, Melanie. Where's your compassion?
Am I hearing you right, Phil? You're asking me to give you compassion? Seriously? The guy who has 2 lovers? The guy who's been cheating on me for God knows how long?
Yeah, well, it doesn't change the fact that you're my wife and you have a responsibility, a duty to your husband.
Sorry, Phil, that's not going to cut it. Just so you're aware, I'm already talking to my lawyer about a divorce, so...
Huh? Wait, a divorce? You want to get divorced? And why talk to a lawyer? You're really blowing this thing way out of proportion, Melanie.
You don't seem to get the point, Phil. Like I said, you're the one with 2 lovers. You're the one that's been 2-timing me. I don't want to hear any crap from a jerk who's been screwing around behind my back. You got that, buddy?
Yeah, well, it was just a fling. You're my true love, Melanie. You know, I was just stressed out with work and all.
Pardon me, I'm your main? Huh? Well, that makes me feel so special, thanks.
Yeah, what I mean is, I picked you as my wife. You were the best of...
Best of the lot? Like selecting a used car or something? When are you going to get tired of that and get a new one? And by selecting, are you saying you were already going out with the other 2 girls even before we were married? Maybe there was more than 2.
No, of course not.
Sure sounds like it, Phil. You picked me out of the 3? I wonder why. Is it because I make more than them?
No, what I'm saying is...
I think I'm officially getting pissed off. Before I really go over the edge, maybe it would be better if we continued further discussions regarding this issue through our lawyers.
Like I said, this whole thing about lawyers is going way too far. Let's just talk face to face. I'm sure we can work it out between us.
This coming from the guy that's been screwing around behind my back? My pissed off meter just went up a notch. I wouldn't push it any further, mister.
But I was just trying to...
Please don't try anymore. You'll really regret it, Phil. I would advise against it.
Huh?
Okay, Phil, that's all I've got to say. Goodbye. Have a good life, Phil. I really was about to explode during that line exchange. Glad I cut it off in time. I talked to my lawyer after that and started the process of getting all the papers ready for the divorce. I'm so glad the lawyer will take care of the rest and not have to see Phil any more than I have to. I'm scared I may even give him a fat lip. About a week or so later, my lawyer was able to collect all of the evidence of his infidelity and came up with the amount we would be demanding from him. I was surprised that he got it all done in such a short period of time. The house we were living in was in Phil's name, so I was the one that had to move out. As for Phil, the 2 women eventually learned that he was secretly seeing the both of them. When they found out, you can imagine the furious reaction that must have ensued. Deborah, the girl that got thrown out of the house and ended up in the hospital, is apparently pressing charges against him. The other woman is also suing him for damages. Apparently, he promised her he would get divorced and marry her. Phil kept calling me and sending long, desperate messages online, so I finally changed my phone number and line address. I really can't thank my lawyer enough for moving quickly with all this before it got completely out of control.
Faye, are you already on your way over to my new house?
Hello, Anderson. And yeah, I should be arriving there in a few more minutes. Did something happen that I should know about?
While I was on my way back home today, an emergency case opened up. I was able to get the most of the preliminary work done, but there's still a bit to go now, so I'm not in a place to make it back home anytime soon. In other words, I don't think I'll be home in time to see you today.
Oh, is that so?
I'm sorry about this. Especially since you're coming all the way out here to see our new place.
Don't worry about it. You are a doctor after all, and in your line of work, you pretty much have to be ready for anything to happen at the hospital and be there for it. I'm guessing that Natasha is home right now, right?
She is. I told her a little bit ago about how I'm going to be coming home a little late today.
Then I'll just stop by the house to give her the gift I planned on giving you both, and then I'll head on home. I'd feel bad staying over longer without you home, since Natasha and I aren't super close yet.
Oh? You planned on bringing us a gift as well, then? That's really sweet of you.
I actually got a request from Natasha a little while back for an all-electric bike. She told me that you always use the car to go to work and whatnot, so she needed something to get herself around town.
You're telling me that Natasha requested something like that then? I'm surprised to hear that she asked for you to get her something like that, though.
Well, where the both of you are living now, there are a lot of hills and such that are hard to walk up and down when going to and from home. Anyway, I'm already close to your house, so I'll just drop it off with her and then be on my way.
If you say so. Well, thank you. And tell your husband I say thanks as well for the gift.
No worries.
I have to get back to work now, okay?
Good luck today.
Alright, thank you, Faye.
Natasha, good afternoon. Right now I'm outside in front of your brand new house. Huh? You came all the way out here? That's right. Right now I have something to hand off to you. You are home now, right? Because I had rang the doorbell a few times already, but you didn't come to answer the door, so I decided I needed to text you that I'm here. Well, I am home right now. Did you not hear anything from your older brother about today? I heard from him that there was an emergency at the hospital that he had to go back for and that he wouldn't be home until later tonight. But when he told me that, I was already on the road to here. And so I thought it'd be alright to just swing by and drop off this gift I have for you. I'm sorry if I'm getting in the way of your time, but if you don't mind, can you come to the front door and get this gift? I'm sure you can already understand by just looking at the size of this house, but I am all the way at the back of the house right now, and coming all the way to the front door is a bit of a pain. I am here with the gift to celebrate you guys in your new place, so if you don't mind just coming to grab it from me. Then can you just leave it next to the front door for me? What? It's not like whatever you brought me is going to spoil in the next hour or two, right? Well, you are right about that, but... Oh, perhaps you actually wanted to come inside the house? No, I don't have to come inside or anything like that. Well, listen, I don't really want to be showing everyone the inside of this massive house right now. I can understand anyone wanting to get a look at what the inside of the place is like, but I really only want people coming in while my husband is around to watch them. But if you really, really do want to come inside and have a look around at the inside of this modern and exciting house, then you'll have to pay me a $10,000 entrance fee. A $10,000 entrance fee? You shouldn't be surprised by that amount, though, right? Your brother is a doctor, after all, and to us, $10,000 is like chump change that we can pay at any moment to get where we please. What are you talking about right now? If you're not going to be able to pay that, then go home. I only came here today to hand you guys a gift to celebrate you both getting this new house. But for some reason, I'm having a hard time understanding why you're being so stubborn about coming to grab it from me. In other words, if you want to come into this house with your brother and I and live here, you have to be able to afford the life we both live. So that's why I'm asking you to pay me that $10,000 to get in here. It's a test. This house has that kind of luxurious feel to it that it requires people to pay up to be within it. Now, if that price is going to be too much for you, then you need to leave. Understood. I'm going home now. And I'll make sure to take that gift from you. I'm sure that the gift itself isn't that big of a deal, but I'd at least like you to open up the door and place it in the entrance. This gift isn't as small as you might think it is, so I'm going to leave it in front of the door. And then get lost, you moneyless loser! What I was able to get for your guys' gift is something that you had requested, and it's pretty expensive as well, so make sure to come out and get it soon before someone tries to steal it. Huh? I'm going now.
Faye? I'm sorry about today.
No worries. It's all good.
Also, thank you for bringing that electric bike over for Natasha. Just a second ago, I took it for a test ride around the block on all those hills, and man, is this bike so much better than having to walk up those hills.
Well, I'm just glad the thing works for you guys, and is very convenient.
Also, one other thing I wanted to mention. I saw that you didn't even come inside the house today to drop off the gift, right? That's what I assumed, considering the bike was sitting outside the front door when I got home.
Huh? Well, it seemed that today Natasha didn't have time to come to the front door to get the gift from me. That's what she told me anyway when we texted earlier. So I just told her that I'd leave it out front on the porch so that she could grab it when she had time while I went back home. And that was all.
Is that right? I was looking in the fridge earlier and noticed that my favorite juice and my leftover cake had gone missing, and I assumed you had eaten them. Also, there is this smell coming from the living room. It's like the smell of cigarettes or something.
Well, I was never able to come into the house, so I wasn't there to eat or drink anything, and you know I don't smoke. Not even my husband smokes, so I'm not sure who did that.
You are right about that. Alright then.
Listen, Anderson, I feel that this has something to do with what was going on within your house today, and my husband would really like to talk with you about it.
Huh? Lance has something he wants to talk with me about?
He said that he'd like to talk with you when Natasha is not around.
Alright. Tomorrow I'm going to be off duty, and Natasha is going to be out of the house with some of her friends in the morning. I won't be home until later that evening. So if he comes over sometime in the middle of the day, it should just be me here.
Lance is telling me that time works for him as well.
Then how about we do lunch while he talks with me about whatever he has to say?
Is it alright if I come along as well?
I don't care.
Then the two of us will start heading over tomorrow and be there around noon.
Okay. Faye, thank you so much for the other day. And tell Lance that I say thanks as well for coming over here.
No. You don't have to be thankful for anything. I'm sorry that Lance had to give all that information to you straight then. You only just started to live in that new house of yours, so it must hurt to hear about all of this.
Well, it's a lot better to know about this sort of stuff instead of continuing to live in the dark. And to tell you the truth, after hearing about all of that, I started to look deeper around the house and proof of everything started to appear. So with everything I've found, I'm going to start doing something about it. I think this will all be handled within a month or so. I'm really sorry, but until things are handled, I'd like you both to act as though nothing is going on.
Alright. If you need anything else from us, just let me know. We'd both be happy to help, and having to sit through this all by yourself is not always the best way of handling it.
Alright. If there's something I need you guys for, I'll let you both know.
Anderson? Now, what the hell is this? Don't you be telling me good morning like that. Why is there divorce paperwork sitting here? What are you talking about? I haven't done jack to make you want to divorce me like this.
From what I found out, you've been cheating on me with one of my friends.
Huh?
I'm sure that sitting right next to those divorce papers is a stack of papers that point to with said friend of mine. And there should also be some contact information from my lawyer. There are some pictures and stuff in there as well for you to look at of you cheating on me. So make sure to give all those a good look.
You're kidding me. How are you able to figure all of this out?
Well, it all started on the day my little sister came over with that gift she wanted to give you to celebrate the new house. On that day, you wanted to have your friend leave the house before I got home. And so, while my sister was also on her way back home, she saw him running through the backyard and jumping the fence. And also, for some reason, when my sister wanted to come in to hand you the present, you said it cost her $10,000 to get into the house. And while you were telling her all that stuff, she said she could hear someone on the second floor running around in panic. And as she turned around to leave, that man came out of the second-story window out. And when that was happening, the husband was standing to the side of the house and got a great look at your friend jumping before.
You're telling me that Lance came along with her?
Well, you asked Faye to get you that electric bike as the gift. And to move that whole box, she needed her husband with her to help.
I never even knew he was around. Wait, I just realized something.
I'm not telling you. I'm going to have my lawyer get in between us before I talk with you anymore in person. And if you have anything to say to me before we divorce, you'd be better off talking to my lawyer about it than me.
Wait! I'm going to break things off with him.
Even if you do leave me, I already know that you're not loyal to me. And that fact will never go away.
I'm asking you to please at least rethink getting a divorce. Hey, come on now. You and I only just started to live inside that massive new house. If you divorce me and kick me out, you'll be all alone in that vast open house with nobody around you, right? Won't you get really lonely living a life like that?
I'm getting ready to sell this place and move somewhere else.
Huh?
I'm so glad I was able to pay off that loan in one lump payment. And so with all that being said, I'd like you to get the hell out of my house once I'm finally divorced you.
But that's... I was finally able to have the house of my dreams. And I've been the wife of a doctor for a while now, so my life was going to be perfect. What the heck is this? Huh? Natasha? What do you want with me all of a sudden? I am standing right outside your house right now. I have been trying to find out where Anderson ran off to hide from me, and since I knew your address, I thought I'd come over and see if he was here. What is with this massive mansion? This place is even bigger than the house I was living in with Anderson. Why the heck are you living in such a huge house like this with even better furnishings than my old house? Are you actually making that much money? Huh? Did we never talk about this before? This is the house of my grandma before she had passed away, leaving it to me. I was always around to watch over her during the last few years, and so as a thank you, she gave me her house and everything in it. And not just the house, though, but a number of cafes and restaurants that she had been managing before passing away. So right now, my job is managing them in her place. So, you were never a moneyless loser? Ah, and my brother is not over at our house right now. What? He's not here? And I have no plans of telling you where he's at right now. Where the heck is that guy ran off to? Natasha? Just in case you think you can get away with it, I suggest not going from here to the hospital he works at looking for him. What you did to him is nothing more than a private issue that resides between you two. So please don't start bringing other people into it and causing trouble for strangers. I know that! What the heck? If I can't find him to talk with him soon, he really is going to leave me. Natasha said that if she couldn't find Anderson soon, he really would leave her. But what she didn't know is that the divorce was already completed. What should have made that obvious to her was that the lawyer stopped by earlier to get her to sign the paperwork and then told her to stop trying to fight the divorce, as it was already finished. Apparently, Anderson had the lawyer turn that paperwork in the moment he got her signature. The following days after the divorce, Natasha and her friend tried to make a huge deal about how they should be given that massive house in the divorce. But as they stood outside Anderson's house making so much noise and chanting that the house was theirs, a black van pulled up from Natasha's parents' place, and two people dragged them inside the vans before driving away. And a month after that had happened, the money that Anderson was asking for in a settlement finally landed in his account from those two. Nobody has any idea where those two disappeared off to, but Wherever they are, they must be having one difficult time. But hopefully, no matter how difficult it is for them, they are able to learn their lessons and change their ways.